Afternoon, my friends. This is the Grimflayer. Hope you're all doing very well today, and it's time to debut Orzhov Stoneblade, or Deadguy, whatever you want to call it, the black-white mid-range deck in Modern. It is time to debut it on this channel. So, I will link in the description below to the original deck tech, to which we've made a couple changes based largely on your feedback. So, check that out, and also, if you want, if you are enjoying this content, you can check out the Patreon page, also in the description, as we thank our first new patron of the day, Michael Streed, new Inquisitor. Welcome aboard, Michael. Thank you for supporting this content. And thank you, of course, as always, to all Patreon supporters. It does mean a lot to me. So, we have reverted to a more traditional 3-3 path push split without anything in the side, unlike the more mixed approach I took initially in the deck tech. We also have kind of swapped a Gideon who has performed very well in my admittedly very limited and casual testing. This is the League channel debut, but Gideon has performed well in the limited experience I have so far, so we've swapped Gideon for Kalitas. The path has kind of replaced a flex slot in the form of Kaya's Guile, which is no longer in the 75. It was good, it was fine, but we're kind of just refining things a little bit. Shout out here to a couple specific patrons who've given me feedback. One is Dan Galinas, who's made a lot of really good lengthy assessment of the deck, a lot of good suggestions. The one thing that I didn't do that Dan advised was to replace Disenchant with a Anguished Unmaking. I definitely see why that would be the call, but our curve is very, very high, so I did want to leave in a little bit of a cheaper interactive spell. So we're going to run with Disenchant, see how it does. Shout out also to Patreon Teddy Kaiser, who always reminds me every time I start exploring a new archetype lately. He's like, Flayer, you don't have enough graveyard hate. And he's right, you know, we're trying to skimp on the graveyard hate, so I've given in, I've listened to him. We have a second spell bomb, but some people have recommended I put the Ashiok back in, we did that. Some people have recommended we try out another value-oriented Planeswalker, and we did that. This is my personal selection. It could be Sorin Solemn Visitor, it could be Kaya Orzhov Usurper for a more hate-bear-oriented one. It could even just be a second Gideon. That even might be best, but look, I think this guy is really cool. We're going to play it. We're going to see how it goes. And other than that, you know, we do only have 2 Fulminator, which is a little rough, but, you know, Ashiok goes a long way. We have Stony Silence if it's Tron. We do have a Surgical, so we've got a lot of 1s and 2-ofs in our sideboard, and I think while we don't really know what to do with the deck exactly, I think that's a fine place to be. Let's play a League. Let's play a League. So the reason I say we don't know exactly what to do with the deck is, of course, because this archetype is pretty new in Modern. Orzhov Stoneblade has only been around a little while, and for the last couple cycles it hasn't 5-0'd. And before that, it did 5-0 several times in a row, but all the lists are pretty different. And you'll note that I didn't play Giver of Runes. I have not added her yet because the reception of that was pretty lukewarm. There was a couple people, Robbie Taylor among others, were like, yeah, I played it, it was okay, it was fine. Felt solid, but not necessary. And then a lot of other people just didn't comment on it at all. So let's run it without Giver, see how it treats us, and yeah, let's have fun. Let's have some fun on our debut. Let's get a good result. This hand just rips their hand apart, but that's kind of what our deck does, so I guess we keep. Would be definitely better on the play than the draw. Opponent might be on Neoform or Infect, so if that's the case, then our hand should be pretty darn good. Let's Thoughtseize. Light a Shadow, not a good draw, but it could help get us there eventually. It is indeed Neoform. Alright, so let's take our time on this opening decision. They have 3 lands, Glittering Wish. I've never seen this. Is this new tech in Neoform? Choose a multicolored card that you own from outside the game, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Do we just take that? I think we're just going to take that because I don't know what it does. I don't know exactly what it's going to get for them. And they can cast it next turn. And the rest of their hand's pretty poor. Okay. It's also a green card, just to when in doubt, taking away a green card makes sense, but having another Thoughtseize is pretty sweet. Alright, Allosaurus Rider, we'll take you away. Attacking the combo. Alright, on step we're going to fetch here to thin. And then it's Liliana time. And they don't like to see Liliana, that's for sure. We draw Gideon as well. Alright. I guess our life total doesn't matter really at all. So we might as well just give ourselves better mana. We're in a Pitch Swamp. Alright, life goes on, bites the dust. The opponent has 2 unknowns in hand now. They've got to put something together pretty much right now, which to be fair, maybe they just did. Glittering Wish. Wishing for Neoform. Alright, we're going to pitch that Marsh Flats. And play Gideon, it's all we can do. Labman, alright. So they must have an alternative win condition besides Labman in the deck. But we get to go Gideon, make a knight. And hope the opponent can't combo off this turn. We're starting to clock beginning next turn. It's a slow start. Oh boy, they had Allosaurus Rider, and they have Neoform. Okay, so they have it. Griselbrand, draw 7. Draw 7 again. Well, with 14 cards, can they kill us? Or can they gain a bunch of life? They can at least gain a bunch of life. I've only ever been killed by this deck by Laboratory Maniac, though, so I don't know what else they're looking for. Maybe they have a way to buy it back. Couldn't tell you. But, just sit back and relax. Enjoy the show. I've got another rider and another land. And yet another rider. Well, okay, they're going wide enough that even if they don't kill us, maybe we just lose to the Griselbrand. So if they don't kill us, let's please draw a Path to Exile. But they're using the Simians here. Okay. Glittering Wish, you'll have to fill me in, my friends. Oh, they go get a trophy. Woo! You'll have to fill me in on how common Glittering Wish is. I haven't run into Neoform in a while. You know, just one of those lovely, fair, modern decks that we love to see. I actually don't mind the Neoform matchup at all. Lots of instances where they would be pretty cold to what we did, but they kept 7. They top-decked another rider after we took the first one away. And after we took the Wish away, what are you going to do? Alright, so we just cannot beat the Flying Lifelink. We can't beat their board, so we need to crack Clearing in search of a kill spell for Griselbrand. Collective Brutality does not do it, not even a little bit. Alright. Edict. Veil of Summer main deck? Okay, that's good information to have. We're very, very dead. Well, this player really doesn't want to lose to Interaction, huh? Fair enough. Well, if they're packing Glittering Wish and Veil of Summer main deck now, maybe I don't like to see this matchup as much as I thought. My goodness. Okay, so Ashiok is still good, but doesn't shut off Glittering Wish, but we'll still play it. Fulminator Mage is okay. Surgical, yes. Kambal, yes, I suppose so. It's not like they need to cast a million spells the turn they go off, but he's just a fine clock, you know. He's just probably better than some other cards we're playing. So I think these are the 6 cards we are interested in. We can cut Fatal Pushes. Lingering Souls is very slow. Very, very slow indeed. It's a question mark as to, like, how does Fulminator line up versus Souls, basically? Versus Path to Exile. So, alright. Let's do it this way. These cards are in. We are considering how all of these cards stack up over here. So we need to make 3 cuts from these cards, and you know, I'm kind of inclined to just cut Fulminator Mage, leave in the path so we can beat their board if they do something like they did last time. Fulminator's fine and all, but especially with Veil of Summer, not the most reliable. So, sure, let's do that. And I think we can afford to move away from 1 Souls easily enough. Yeah, that was brutal. Well, we had a good curve out, and they barely managed to go off right before it was too late for them to go off. And then they just kind of got us with a lot of different stuff. Pretty interesting. This is a good keep, though. This is a good keep. I don't know if we should expect them to be on Leyline of Sanctity on top of everything else. They don't seem to be. So even if they have Veil of Summer, at least we are on the play. Thought sees you. Okay, they kept a 1-lander with Veil. And they have a Pact. And they have... Their hand is terrible, though. Neoform. I'm kind of inclined to just take Neoform. Their hand does very little otherwise. Veil allows them to cantrip, but it's not otherwise going to blow us out. So yeah, I'll take Neoform. Alright, we are completely flush with land, so I'm just going to fetch right now for at least one of them. Take 1 fewer point of damage just because Bob plus their value planet could become relevant in a parallel universe. They do not cantrip with the Veil. So, they're rewarded for it. I was going to say, I don't think they drew a second land before because they would have played it over Gemstone Mine almost certainly, but either they got lucky and they did, or they were just playing the Gemstone Mine out first anyway. So, them hitting the second land is a little rough, and us just hitting 2 lands is insanely unlucky. Pretty bad, pretty bad. I guess we're just hardcasting Sword of Fire and Ice here. We're going to get the clock going for real next turn. We're going to get the advantage going for real next turn. And once again, their Veil is kind of awkward in hand, but we're giving them a real window here. Once again, they don't have a good, yeah, well, we'll just see. We'll just see. 2 unknowns in hand. They don't have all that many green cards either, but they probably will have enough to go off. They're going to go off. Unbelievable. Like, They just find it right away, both games. They just find the Evo right away. Well, if they brick now, they might die to their own pact, depending on... Well, they could probably keep enough Simian Guides and so forth in hand to pay for it, perhaps, in Monomorphos, but I doubt they're going to brick. That's the problem. Yeah, I mean, I would take the Neoform matchup all day. I think it's a totally fine one for any black-based mid-range deck, really. But arguably, especially ours, because we have the Scullers as well. But they're just kind of getting us both games here. They're just going wide yet again. Okay, well, let's assume they can pay for their pact, right? They're not just going to die. I wonder how many basics they played. Is it worth, like, fielding them this turn and just hoping it Stone Rains them? That might be our best bet if we don't draw anything else good. If we draw Path to Exile, we might be able to just beat them. Opponent's got the Veil of Summer. We draw Tide Hollow Sculler. Not a good one. All right. How many basics do they play? That is the big question. So basically one path to victory might be to get lucky and Stone Rain them, but you think they would have discarded like basic lands, or at least one of them from their hand, right? They've just got to have like Simians and Monomorphoses in hand to pay for that, right? Even if we do get lucky in Stone Rain. Just trying to think of what our very best outs could be. The other thing we are, of course, considering is cracking Silent Clearing, looking for a path for Gristlebrand. Then we just have to contend with the board, which with Bob, maybe we can get there. I'm tanking here, guys. I do apologize. I know there's been not a lot of action here in this opening game, but I'm just trying to kind of think of what our very best odds are. Hexproof from blue and from black. So, fielding and pathing are both viable here. It's really just a matter of what we think is likelier to get us to cheese out the game. So, let's say they don't have a land to fetch. We get to make them have double Simian Guide and Monomorphos in hand. They've already used one Simian Guide. I think I'm going to go for the Field of Ruin. Like, having to draw exactly path doesn't seem great. We also get to follow this up with a Sculler, maybe take something away. So this is our plan. Oh, we win! Okay, my tanking pays off. My tanking pays off. They couldn't beat the Field of Ruin. How funny is that? How funny is that? All right, well, we got there in an unorthodox way. Now, what does that make us want to do? Does that make us more excited about Fulminator Mage? I don't really think so. Still kind of just like this plan, especially on the draw. But that's funny. That's pretty funny. That's a good learning moment for everybody out there. Definitely wasn't something that I was sure about, but apparently it was good enough. Yep. Think I like it. So obviously on the draw it's a lot tougher. They can probably turn one us. They can certainly blow us out with a Veil of Summer, our turn one discard, but you know, maybe they won't just keep a Great 7 this time. We won't be keeping this hand because it doesn't function unless we luck into a Black Source off the top. Opponent keeps 7, we mull. This has very little disruption, but it's probably better than going to 5. They could be on Leyline, they could be on Veil. I think we're going to keep it. What do we bottom? Probably just the sword. It's the lowest impact piece of equipment. This is a pretty poor hand on the draw. I don't expect to win, but again, probably better than going to 5 when they have all these tools that we've seen like Glittering Wish and Veil of Summer to play a more value-oriented game. Maybe they just kept a one-lander on the back of a Veil or 2. Okay, looks like it. Pretty sweet. I think we run out clearing because we might want to field next turn, and we want also just access to double black from here on out. Alright, if the opponent's on Veil, will they cantrip? Yes. That means they're probably on multiple Veils because they didn't show us... They didn't do that game 1. They didn't just cash in the Veil for value, so they might be on another one. Or they're just going to have us turn 3. After doing nothing to set it up besides a... What's that? 1 mana, draw a card, blue spell from Kamigawa. Whatever that is. They played a 1 mana, draw a card, and then they just get to turn 3 kill. Pretty absurd. Well, at least we got a cool win here against Neobrand. I mean, they kept 7 all 3 games. They kept great hands all 3 games. What are you going to do? I really wish they hadn't. I really wish we could start this league off on the right foot. But with them, and they have never really bricked, and to be fair, you know, we don't really expect them to ever fully brick when they are starting from such a high life total, right? So, okay, they're pacting. They're pacting again. This time, they're casting multiple packs. They must just be able to kill us right now. Because we got a field where that other one came from. We got another field for you, my friend. Be careful. Be warned. Yeah, I assume they have the Labman kill here. Failing to find with Pact. Interesting. I mean, I guess, yeah. Looks just like the Labman to me. Pretty silly deck. Doesn't this make you want to play, like, Slaughter Pact? Oh well, okay. Not off to a very good start, but we had a cool, that's a pretty cool match, considering the nature of the deck we were against. I'm sure our matchup there is fine, despite all their tech against us. We didn't have fantastic hands. We had to maul. They kept 7. They went off early. They top decked what they needed to top deck. Just sometimes how it goes. This is a pretty medium-looking hand, but it's a functional one. We don't know what we're against, so I think we have to keep it. But it's a very clunky, very medium-looking hand. And we're on the draw. Blood-Stained Mire Pass. Okay, a Fatal Push, huh? Probably pretty good against a Bloodstained Mire deck of some kind. It's not Hogak Summer anymore, so we don't always expect a graveyard deck any longer off of the Mire. Maybe we're against Jund. Or a Shadow, something. Watery Grave. They didn't shock, though. Interesting if it is Shadow. Could just be like a Grixis control deck, which, no offense to Grixis control players, but I hate playing against those decks. It always feels like, even if I beat them, it always feels like they're a deck that can really just, like, does nothing against, like, a Neoform deck like we just played, but is sure not going to lose against us, but... consider that my rant. Consider my rant out of the way. And it is Mishra's Bauble, so maybe we are against Shadow that's playing a little bit more cautiously with their life. I don't really know, but we're continuing to fail to hit our 3rd land, so our clunky hand gets even clunkier. All we can do is play the Bob. Do not expect Bob to live. And if Bob does live, then we're probably in good shape, but we still really need to draw a 3rd land. If Bob doesn't live, then we need to just naturally draw a 3rd land, and, you know, we've got a lot of good stuff in an interactive matchup in hand. We just gotta buckle down for the grind, you know? Game 1, if it is a Shadow deck, they shouldn't have any way to totally blow out Confidant. Game 1, like Plague Man or Liliana the Last Hope or anything like that. Inquisition. Alright, clearing the way for a threat, I guess. They're live for Angler, they're live for Shadow. They need to probably cycle a Street Wraith to get Shadow online this turn. But looks like they're probably just going to slam a big old fish here, take away our path, play the fish. Which is an issue. It is an issue. And are we holding up Stubborn Denial, or are we going to Fatal Push the Bob? Holding up Denial. Got it. Wow, land Liliana, what a great draw. What a great draw. Only problem is they probably do have stub. So, I think we just play Lingering Souls. Or just another Confidant. That basically... that's interesting. Yeah, we could play Bob Hold Up Push. Let's do that. Liliana's a great draw. We've just got to find a window for her. I don't think just trading her with a stub here is good because it's our only out to the Angler at the moment. But we can start chumping with Lingering Souls soon, hopefully. Opponent shocking in. Pushing a Bob. Alright. And then the snap push, is that what it's going to be? If so, that's actually pretty fine, because then we push the snap ourselves, and then we Liliana Edict. The opponent also does not know we have Liliana, so they might make that play, and it's not a bad play. It'll just work out fine for us if they do. And they probably should if they have it available, just so we don't keep drawing cards with Bob, but either they don't have it or they're not gonna, so... Okay, we continue accruing advantage. And I think we are supposed to start attacking here because we can handle a Shadow with our Fatal Push. We could just play yet another Bob. It seems kind of good to play another Bob, honestly. Like, they're... Now, let's go for the souls. I want to be more mana efficient, and if they want to stub this in any way, shape, or form, I think that's fine. Yep, I think that's fine. So, of course, they couldn't stub Bob, but they might have had removal, right? And now we get a souls in the graveyard, so we can be mana efficient next turn as well. Of course, the fish is an issue. If they've got, like, Snap Stub or just another natural stub, we could be in trouble. You might have to just hope for the Liliana here. Hope they don't have another whatever. Okay, Inquisition and Path. Alright, good draws. Yeah, I think we just Inquisition here. The only way they beat us is if they have two stubs. Or if they have, like... a stub for this and then a snap stub. Yeah, let's Inquisition. I'm going to do it before attacking in case they have a snap just to flash in. I kind of need to block maybe with Confidant because our life total's so low. Yeah, Inquisition. This is intense. Snap. Okay, so in response to that, I'm gonna Path the Angler. Again, if they have another stub in hand or another snap in hand, this gets us. They don't. Sweet. Alright, so now do they stub or does Inquisition resolve? Okay. So, I guess we're just playing another Dark Confidant. Well, yeah, let's attack first. We are in race mode. Double Bob's a little risky, but, like... one Bob racing a Snapcaster is not really any better, right? We're seeing all three Bobs this game. We'll see if it gets us there. We're extremely far ahead of the opponent. We just have to not die. Opponent rips an Inquisition. Okay, that's pretty good in this spot. It's pretty good. Well, Liliana makes sense. Alright, now they hope we die to our own triggers. Be kind, Bob. We take 3, we take 1. Yikes. Major yikes. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I think, is this. We're going to push their Snap main phase. We're going to flash back a Lingering Souls and... Whoops. And then we're going to hold up Path. That way we can path their thing if we need to, or we can path one of our own Bobs before we move to our turn. That way only exactly Gideon will kill us from our own top deck trigger. Opponent's just not even making us do that. That's interesting. I think they should just make us go through our upkeep at least. Anyway, we got there. Sweet. Okay, I'll take it. So, Fulminator is a consideration. Spellbomb's pretty good. I don't know if we want Kambal. He could be really awkward for them. I'm just not familiar enough with this deck to decide. I think we'll put him in the maybe board category. Sorin is just a value piece, seems fine. We like Kalidas, we like Plague Men just fine. Nothing else here, so we're going maybe all the way up to 9 cards. I don't know exactly which one of these are better than others, but let's just take out almost all, if not literally all, discard. I don't mind leaving in 1 Thoughtseize. We'll see. We'll consider that. Let's lose our Urborg. Don't mind going down on a land. So, we're going to be on the draw. I kind of like leaving in the Thoughtseize on the draw. What if we just play without Fulminator on the draw? This is pretty clean. 7 in, 7 out. And then if they manage to take us to game 3, I think we'll lose the Thoughtseize, we'll lose 1 other card, and we'll play the Fulminators on the play. The other thing is, I don't know how good Tide Hollow Sculler is, because they have so much interaction. But we'll try it this way. Hand is fine. We will keep. Opponent goes to 6. Lovely. Very, very nice for us. So, Fatal Push is a good card to have in hand, but we're unlikely to use it in the first couple turns, so I think our play here is going to be Spellbomb into Stoneforge Mystic. Most likely. Unless the opponent plays a turn 1 Shadow, which it looked like they might for a second. Yeah, Spellbomb it is. They could soft stub it. Looks like they might. Sure. Might mean there's a turn 2 Gurmag Angler, which could be a problem. But probably not if they don't have a fetch land. Alright, Thought Scour. That will do it. Okay. So, I guess it is still SFM time. Sculler is interesting, though. Sculler is definitely interesting, but I think we're supposed to take our 2 for 1 while we can. And if they don't have an answer to it, this thing, getting what? What do we get here? Light and Shadow is obviously good against Angler and Shadow. Sure, we'll get Sword of Light and Shadow. Requires a little more setup than Bat or Skull, but Skull is outsized by Angler. Just doesn't seem right to get it in that spot. Inquisition. It's a pretty good spot for an Inquisition. Our hand's looking a little awkward, but we do have we're way ahead on resources. We just kind of have to keep curving out, not die to the Angler. And we, to be fair, have a lot of good stuff. We have a lot of good live draws, too. Sculler might be an issue for them depending on what's remaining in their hand. Sword of Light and Shadow they might struggle to beat if they don't take it here. Plague Man can trade with Angler. We've got things to do. And Fatal Push is not very good at the moment, but for most of their other draws, most of their other threats it is. They take it. Wow. Do they have a Shadow in hand that they're about to deploy? Probably. It's a little frightening. Yeah, no block. Okay. Here comes that Shadow. So, we have hit an untapped land. What does that make us want to do? It's kind of now or never for the Sculler being good. Or we could just simply play a Plague Engineer. But if we play the Sculler now, then next turn we can suit it up with Light and Shadow. We can get Light and Shadow in and suit it up. Okay, I think we're probably supposed to play the Sculler in that case. Obviously, we're going to be sad if they don't have a card in hand, or if they draw removal, or what. If they draw removal, I think we're kind of dead no matter what. Like if it could remove Plague Man. Teamer Battle Rage. Okay, glad I did that. Okay, pretty scary curve out from the opponent. They draw Mishra's Bauble. Sure. It's a redraw, but at least it's not a redraw this turn. We gotta take the hit here. Well, that's awkward because both of our lands put us down to lethal. If only we had natural vigilance on the Sculler, obviously that'd be really good. I mean, we're dead to so much. We are dead to so very much. But I think the play might be to attack with Sculler, because like chumping with it doesn't get us anywhere, it just unlocks TBR. And then play Gideon and try to chump with our board. But I think we're going to lose this one. Alright, opponent seems like they kind of bricked last turn. We kind of need them to brick again now. We're obviously chumping with both. Doesn't matter how we do it, they either have some way to kill us or they don't. Alright, well, they are dead on board with Gideon activating himself. They play another Angler. Alright, if we top deck removal, they're dead. We don't. Or, if we just hard cast Light and Shadow and equip it to Gideon, they are dead, right? Five, 5 plus 2, 2 looks like 7, 7 to me. Seems good. Oh man, stealing the game with Gideon wielding the Sword of Light and Shadow. How epic. How epic is that? Alright. We got him. 2-0. Nice strong win over Grixis Shadow. I'm going to get up for just a minute while we find the next opponent. Oh, just missed it. Just missed it. My bad. But we're back. Whew. Yeah, that was a cool game. I always like the Shadow matches when I'm on other black-based mid-range. Immediately, we seem to be... Admittedly, rather, we seem to be a little bit favored, at least against Grixis. Mardu seems a bit tougher, probably more like 50-50. But they're always skill testing, they're always interactive, and it's not a mirror. Like, don't relish mirrors anywhere near as much because the cards are so similar that it's just a lot more top deck dependent. So, yeah, Shadow's always a cool one, and we are favored there. There are a lot of ways we can kind of sneak wins like we did there, even if they're curving out well and interacting well. Yeah, I mean, we'd be sitting pretty if Neoform hadn't just had such good progressions, but we are still doing just fine on the debut, just fine. We put up a good showing, at least against Neoform. And we put up a deck looked real nice there in that Shadow matchup. So, onward we go to round 3. Losing every die roll. Having both of our planes makes this hand so much worse than it should be. But it's still a good hand, it's still a keep. But literal any other land besides Plains number 2 would be welcome. But look how beautiful this Plains is. I love that Onslaught Plains. Yeah, we'll keep. Opponent has mauled. That's cool. That's cool. Copperline Gorge. Insolent Neonate. Okay, Dredge, I see you. Alright, well, our hand's not that great against Dredge, but maybe Inquisition will cripple them after they mulliganed. Or maybe it will just let them go off even harder. We'll see. Okay, yeah. They're dredging in response. Life from the Loam, then there's another Life from the Loam in their hand. Okay, so they just get to go off. Yep. I mean, we had to hope they're dependent on Cathartic Reunion there with that hand. But they weren't, and so now they just get to loop Life from the Loams and dredge a bunch. It's all very annoying. And they have a Forgotten Cave even to maximize the Loam synergy. So we have a Path to Exile to try to start tangling with some of the creatures once they find them. But really, I don't know how good we're looking game 1. We probably need to draw Stoneforge Mystic and just have, like, beat them with a Batterskull, something like that. Instead, we'll draw Shambling Vent. Well, that's technically our second black land, but... Alright, Robert Confidant, do your thing. They find Creeping Chill, but no other payoffs. Creeping Chill alone is a big problem, though. That's their second one they've hit. The Bob triggers the Narcomoeba pressure. Again, we kind of need to draw, I think, need to get a Stoneforge into Batterskull going. I'm just not really going to track their lands in hand besides just leaving that Forgotten Cave there so we remember they have that. The Loam. Okay, I kind of thought they'd cycle the cave first, but what do I know? Alright, Tide Hollow Sculler. I mean, that's actually kind of a cute answer to Life from the Loam. Oh, but it's not in their hand anymore. I think their hand is just all lands, isn't it? But, you know what? I think Sculler is kind of the play anyway. We just got to play a 2-2. We're not doing anything else good this turn. I don't think we're going to path the Narcomoeba. I think we're going to save that for an Amalgam or a Bloodghast, so... Let's just attack. But we haven't found our good stuff. I don't think we're going to get there. We could also just Liliana Edict the Narcomoeba. That's not bad, but I think we want to get the Sculler online, and getting Shambling Vent down is actually potentially relevant, so let's just play our Bear instead. Yeah, nothing, as we knew. Yeah. But, like, if they do brick, if they brick. So maybe playing around effects like this is why they didn't cycle Forgotten Cave in the first place, right? Oh, and here they come, Amalgam, Stinkweed Imp, Stinkweed Imp. Okay. More loaming. Okay, we draw Fatal Push. So we can Liliana Edict the Narcomoeba, and we can hold up Path or Push. Or we can get in a crack with a Shambling Vent. I think it's probably better to just crack in with a Vent right now. Well, we haven't drawn our Stoneforge to bail us out. We want to fade a bunch of Bloodghasts, basically. If they just kind of have to play stuff out, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, we might be able to steal the game. I do doubt it, but... More Creeping Chills. And they get the Narcomoeba here at instant speed, which is very annoying, and they get the Prized Amalgam on the end step, which is very annoying. Yeah, it's all pretty horrendous. Forgotten Cave, extremely good. Extremely good in that deck. And there's a Bloodghast. More Amalgams. I mean, that's what the deck does. So we're getting hit for, once they get the Bloodghast back, we're going to go to 1. No? Okay. Interesting. Yes. I mean, really, I might as well just scoop here, but... Fatal Push. Okay, pretty sure we're soundly beaten here. Yeah, I mean, half the time our Inquisition there cripples them. Half the time it just lets them go off even harder. That was the second half. It's kind of just what Dredge is up to. So hey, we're happy we packed the second spell bomb, right? Okay, so I guess, like, any form of life gain and value is at least somewhat reasonable, but both these cards seem a little weak here. Let's figure out what we're more sure of. Plague, like, all this stuff's really good. We got 8 pretty good cards. Collective Brutality is a little worse, but admittedly still doable, especially on the play. And then these cards are kind of just better than bad cards as far as I can tell, but these 7 have to come in. So these 7 are in. What's out? Lily of the Veil is out. How good is Tide Hollow Sculler against Dredge? And what are we comparing it to? Like, we could just kind of... I don't know. I don't know how far away we want to move from Fatal Push. I am used to leaving Fatal Pushes mostly in when I'm on Rock, but then again, I don't have access to Path. So I don't know if that changes things. If we're just supposed to move a little bit away from pushes here. We need to make at least 3 cuts, possibly 4 for Brutality. I think it's safe to say we're not going to bring this stuff in. Yeah, I just don't know how to rate Sculler, really. Can probably at least trim 1. Trim a Souls, trim a Push, just kind of trim around the edges. I think that's pretty fine, and then we will maybe bring in the second Collective Brutality on the play. Is it worth cutting a Dark Confidant here? Or maybe cutting a Thoughtseize? I think I'm going to cut a Thoughtseize on the play. Let's do it. As mentioned, first time out on the channel with this deck. So if you see anything you disagree with, you might be right, and feel free to let me know. So despite cutting a discard spell, we do have 2 in the opener. I think that's enough incentive to want to keep this, even though it doesn't have Grave Hate. Stoneforge Mystic can beat them pretty soundly with a Batter Skull if we cripple them early and have time to get it set up. And once again, even though the discard could go badly for us, we're still supposed to cast it here. Okay, they have a Thoughtseize of their own. I think we're supposed to... Alright. So if we take the Cathartic Reunion, they're going to Thoughtseize us, they're going to take our Thoughtseize, or our Stoneforge Mystic. Like, Neonate's good, but just like dumping an Amalgam or a Bloodghast is beatable. So I think we're going to take their Thoughtseize. The only problem is we're then priced into Thoughtseizing again next turn to take away Reunion. But let's say we take the Reunion now. Then if they go... Yeah. If we take the Reunion now and they play Neonate, and they choose not to Thoughtseize, then we get to go Stoneforge. That would actually probably be the best outcome. But I still think we're going to Thoughtseize their Thoughtseize here. It's a really interesting decision. Opponent didn't like how long we took on it, but interesting decision. Obviously, oh, they just rip a Shriekhorn. Ooh. Ooh, that's scary. Okay. Wow. Them ripping another, like, a really good enabler is so bad. Still think we kind of have to take Cathartic Reunion, though. Or at least we have to Thoughtseize here. Yeah, I mean, we know what they have. Taking Neonate, though, now is interesting because they do kind of need to hit a second land. Maybe we were supposed to just get the Stoneforge down there, but I'm just too frightened of them top-decking a land for Cathartic Reunion. That's just a disaster, so whatever. They get the Narcomoeba, and land. Is that a Life from the Loam? Why, it sure is. So, great. Just gotta fade the second land for quite some time now. They are dredging instead of taking their draw. Okay. I think we're just actually pushing here to be mana efficient and to preserve our already very low life total. I realize how poor that is, but shouldn't be material to the outcome of the game. I do believe it to be correct. They hit again with another Narcomoeba and another Life from the Loam. Still no second land, though, right? They better not top deck one here. They better not top deck one here. That's all I can say. Okay, so they had a good turn. We draw Lingering Souls, sure. But I think the Batter Skull is the play here. Get the Batter Skull, get it in next turn. Alright, they're streakhorning and stuff, but and they're, oh, they hit a Conflagrate, but still no second land, right? And you need, okay, no blocks. You need double red to Flash Fist back. Yeah, okay. Man, we just can't draw another land ourselves to save our lives, but we're on the Batter Skull plan. Alright, if the opponent hits a second land, we are in trouble. They're scooping because they can't beat Batter Skull? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess they just can't beat Batter Skull. You know, maybe they have an answer to it that needs another land anyway, I'm sure. It was either Trophy or Claim or whatever. They'd need to draw the land anyway. But man, they had a few turns to find it, so don't know what's up with that, but we'll take it. Now, maybe interested in getting a little bit more reactive on the draw here for Game 3. But at what cost? You know, what comes out if we do that? Do we just run it back? As you can tell, I don't know exactly how to rate a few of the cards like Sculler here in this matchup. Sculler seems okay, but pretty clunky, pretty slow. I think we're just going to run it back as is. Well, the threat of Batter Skull stole the win there, and that and the fact that the opponent, you know, never got off one land, but admittedly they were taking dredges in windows instead of taking natural draws to find it. So yeah. I guess thought seizing their Thoughtseize did pay off. It's still possible that we should have gone turn 2 SFM over taking the Cathartic Reunion the next time. I don't exactly know. But either way, it did get us there. And OP in the tank about how to side. In the tank. Yeah, as mentioned, my friends, if you have other takes on this matchup, what to do. Oh, hi. Oh, wow. Oh, hi. Well, the family just came home. Dada will be done soon. He's just doing some work, okay?
Let's go.
Well, that was quite the appearance. And we're back, my friends. Opponent has lost the game due to an action. It's happened a couple times. This is the second time in recent leagues. Hey, we'll take it. I mean, it's we did take them to game 3. We did earn that, and you can't control that. So maybe that goes some way to making up for kind of the bad luck in game 1. But the deck's looking reasonable in all 3 of these matches, and hey, we just got gifted game 3 of round 3 by Dredge. So there we go. Sorry about the delay. I will hopefully remember to cut the video. I have made a note, and before uploading it, that is. And we're back. We're back. Hey, we have already semi-cashed the league. That's cool. That's cool on the channel debut for this. I have, of course, played it a little bit here and there, but just really tournament practice lobby stuff, lined up a little bit against my buddy's Merfolk deck. Not much more, not really. So, new territory for the Grimflayer, but it's going all right. It's definitely going all right. Haven't really had like great curve outs either, not yet, but we'll get some. Hopefully right now. Let's do it. Round 4 on the play with a oh man, a less than great curve out because it doesn't have black, but I think I'm still gonna keep it because it's got turn 2 SFM, and any land is great here. Okay, I mean maybe this should be a mull, but I haven't seen... I'm less inclined to mull in game 1s. I'm also less inclined to mull on the play. So there you go. If only this Field of Ruin was a swamp or a whatever, a concealed courtyard, we would be in business. Alright. BGX player, maybe? Or just a Panza player? Uh-oh. That's a little scary. Well, okay, we draw Marsh Flats. Great draw. So what do we do with it, though? Well, I think we're definitely going to use it. Definitely going to get a swamp. If only that was in our opening hand, we would have Inquisitioned last turn, and now we would know exactly what to do here. So, options, of course, are Sculler, or Stoneforge, or Inquisition. Inquisition is kind of the most attractive in a vacuum, but it's not mana efficient. I think I'm going to go Sculler, and then next turn go Stoneforge IOK, as long as they don't blow up a land. If they do blow up a land, at least we can still go Inquisition, but we might... The only risk there is if they blow up our plains, and we have Stoneforge stranded in hand, but... Let's go Tide Hollow. Another Sprawl, a Hex Drinker, and a Devoted Druid. Well. Alright then. Is this just a mono-green ramp deck? Guess we're just going to take... So if we take away the Druid, then next turn they can play a land, play a Sprawl. We can still push Hex Drinker next turn. But maybe they just slow roll it. I'm just going to take Hexy. I don't know what's correct here. I don't know exactly what I'm up against. Feels a little bad to give them the chance to unlock Hex Drinker in the future, but I don't know if this deck's playing removal. Yeah, I don't know what we're up against here. So they have played Forest, they've played Druid, and Sprawl. Okay. So, I think Inquisition is likely enough to whiff that I'm just gonna push and play SFM here. Well, we might as well attack first. What am I playing around? Fire and Ice would be the one that I would get, but we already have that. I guess we just kind of diversify with Batterskull. but it's possible that Light and Shadow is still correct there. Alright, so opponents clearly got some kind of a big goon to play. Or a big value piece, maybe Planeswalker, who knows? Finale of Devastation for X equals 2. Kasali Pride Mage. Alright. So what do we think about pathing the Pride Mage here? They can blow up the Sculler in response, but then we can Inquisition the Hexdrinker away. Sure. Pathing the Ramp deck is probably not good, but I think this is our play here. Yep. Okay, so now they don't get to ramp, of course, and it's still obviously nice value for them, but let's Inquisition. They have an Arbor Elf, sure, so easy take of Hexy. And we'll just pass. Getting ready to flash in one of these two. I really don't know which one is going to be correct. Probably Fire and Ice, but we'll see if they have anything else to do this turn. Uh-oh, what'd they top deck? Walking Ballista for 3. Okay, change of plans. We need the Batterskull. Oh no, I punted. Oh, I should have fetched first. Really just meant to fetch first. I just misclicked. Alright, so now we have to go to our turn. That's pretty bad. Unless they start going for it here on the end step, which they don't. Okay. Alright, Collective Brutality is an okay draw. Let's fetch now. Yeah, that was a costly misclick. I was hoping to bait them into pinging right now by fetching as well, but it didn't work. So, all right. Karn the Great Creator is their draw. Whoa. A little scary. So I was wondering what a green-white deck is doing ramping. What's the payoff? Well, obviously it's this card. This card is just very, 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 very annoying. We could field here. I don't... Whatever. I'm just not going to field. We're going to go for the skull. And yep, so Karn can do this. It can basically get rid of the Germ token by changing what the Batterskull is up to with the +1. So that's pretty rough. Dark Confidant. We might just be dead here to Lattice. And if I had fetched correctly as I meant to, it might not be this way. That was an incredible top deck either way, but... Alright, let's kill your ballista. Yeah, so if they go get Lattice, then we are just locked out. And their Arbor Elf just protects Karna because we don't have quite a wide enough board to handle it. I mean, yeah, their top decks were great. Yeah, we're just dead. Okay, good game. This card, this stupid card. Only myself to blame, though. Only myself to blame. Alright, so a Karn deck. Finale of Devastation shut off by Ashiok. I don't know if it's going to be worth bringing in, but maybe. Kambal for value, also maybe. Sorin for value? I don't know. Let's say maybe. I'm going to say no to Fulminator because they use too many basics. That's where they're going to stack Utopia Sprawl. Nile Spellbomb I don't think does much. Plague Man, Brutality, Surgical's a maybe, Kalitas is a maybe. I guess we're probably going to play Disenchant so we have an out to the Lattice. So in other words, they cast Lattice. If we have Disenchant in hand, we can float mana, then answer it. So we're considering these... We're definitely playing these 3. We're considering these 6. I think we're going to cut Path. I think we can cut a couple copies of Souls. We might not have that much room to bring cards in. So maybe we don't bring an Ashiok. Maybe like Kalitas and Disenchant are the best cards here. These are all interesting, but like... I think most of the main deck core stuff is pretty good. So... Do we want to move away from the SFM package at all due to Karn? That I don't know. That I'm definitely just straight up in the dark about. I'm going to say no because it's going to be one of our best ways to actually end the game. Like, if we shy away from it, our clock is slower, they just, like, top deck a Karn anyway after they have the means to protect it, like, and it won't shut off our stuff, it'll just beat us on its own. So, yeah, let's give this a shot. Obviously, you have to mull this. Pretty tough. And then I guess we're going to keep this one. Opponent on 7 is rough as well. Let's bottom, I guess, just Kalitas. This is not a great 6 either. Arbor Elf. Okay, Silent Clearing. It's SFM time, and we're going to get Fire and Ice. We're just going to try to end the game quickly while also pressuring the board. I also got a basic Plains there just in case they do happen to splash for Blood Moon. It doesn't appear that way, but might as well not leave ourselves open to that blowout. Is this a casual turn 2 Great Creator? No, it's a turn 2 Finale for a Devoted Druid. Okay, we draw Collective Brutality. So, it's going to be an awkward turn, but I kind of think we just have to kill Devoted Druid. Yeah, I mean, they could be on the infinite mana combo. Probably are. If we had an untapped land in hand that we knew was coming, I'd be very, very happy to just, to just do this and then know we're going to have a mana-efficient turn next turn. But, as is, we don't. So do we escalate? I think we might as well. Pitching the souls, that's pretty free. And I guess we're looking at their hand. The drain is more guaranteed value. This could easily whiff, but the upside is high enough that I'm going to do it. We get a finale. Sweet. Okay. They've got the Honor Guard. No ETBs. They've got a Walking Ballista. They've got a Hex Drinker. They've got some stuff. We've got a Squire smacking them for one. Really wish we had a Fatal Push in this window, too, to push the Elf. They get to do some good stuff here with Hexy, if they want. Who knows what they're going to do. I think he's just Walking Ballista us as well. Or they're just going to play the Honor Guard. I'm actually not afraid of that, but they did get another Devoted Druid, so that's still a really good turn. Inquisition, good draw. Guess Hex Drinker is kind of the card we can't beat. Kind of find myself wishing we had Batterskull, but oh geez, a Utopia Sprawl. Oh no, that's horrendous. That is just horrendous. Because now they get to, I mean, granted we still have the Disenchant, but they just get to make Walking Ballista that much bigger, huh? Alright, now what? They don't ping us before we untap. Because they want us to commit our turn to the sword, which we're not going to do. So do we disenchant main phase? If we don't, they just basically... Yeah, let's just disenchant main phase. Alright, so we're about even on resources now. Obviously, their top decks can be really scary in this deck with all that mana. But we do have some stuff to do. Let's just hope they just brick for just one turn. Ronus the Indomitable. I mean, sure, like, just rip all the gas. Just rip all the gas. Alright, that's a huge issue. We draw Inquisition. Pretty awful. What do we do? Alright. Can't attack or block unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater. I think we gotta just play the Bob here and hope for some good stuff off the top. Liliana Edict is not not particularly relevant at the moment. I mean, sure, just rip all the gas, man. Just rip all the gas. Okay. They get to add counters. I mean, sure. They're just going to get wrecked by the ramp. They've got a lot of dead draws, I know that. But they're not seeing them here. Okay, take the hit, hope to get lucky here. We kind of do. I guess we're just pretty deterministically dead, though, no matter what. This thing can kill our creature even after we suit it up. So, I think our best out is to attack with the Bob, kill something on their board, hope we draw, push our path with Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay, they take the block. Even worse. Sure. Okay, we're dead. Unless, nah, we're just dead on board. Okay, absolutely wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Okay, we are 2-2 playing, my friends, for the Cached League. That seems like a rough matchup. I mean, the value ramp decks, again, you kind of wonder what they do against like the Neoform turn 1, but I guess not every deck can beat Neoform. And maybe they have some tax effects or something, I don't know. That's interesting to think about, but when you're on a fair deck and you run into a deck like that, it's like, okay, well, guess I'm getting punished for my choices today, but it is all good. We're having a pretty, the deck's looking pretty good here on debut. Even that didn't look particularly bad. We just, we got clunked up a little bit, and they were in top deck mode with a decent board, and they ripped, what did they rip? Something that was gas into Ronus into a Planeswalker. Yeah, that's pretty good. This is a painful hand with double Thoughtseize, but a definite keep. At least our mana's painless. We'll keep. And it looks like a pretty good one. Ah, Hallowed Fountain, huh? Okay. Thoughtseizes and Scullers and Liliana seem good against a Hallowed Fountain deck. We gotta hit our third land, of course. Oh, it is Soulherder. I have never played against this deck, so forgive me in advance if I misplay or if I don't see things coming. But let's figure out what to do. So I do know the premise of the deck is that this card, Soulherder, is a value engine that allows them to keep blinking things with ETB triggers like Deputy of Detention, and otherwise it has some blue-white interaction. That's basically the extent of my knowledge. I guess we're just going to take Soulherder. Or we could take Path and lean more on Tide Hollow Sculler, but on the draw, Sculler's a little bit worse. I'm pretty content to just take away the Herder. And then try to take away the Deputy and go on the Liliana plan. Uh-oh, the opponent drew something good to do on turn 2. Don't you hate that? Coiling Oracle? That's really good, and they hit off of it? Jeez. Feels like we're getting punished real hard this league. I realize we got the free win, but besides that, getting punished. Getting punished, but we can at least push that to protect our Liliana, and we have at least drawn the third land. So, let's begin with a Thoughtseize. And we're just taking Deputy. So if they just like play a land and pass, we're probably not supposed to jam Liliana into the hard-casted force. And in that case, I don't know what we'll do. I guess Sculler. But in that case, I'm also not sure whether to push here or not. I think I'm going to just for the sake of mana efficiency and because that's a blinkable target. But that could be wrong. We could be... Or maybe this draws out their force. That'd be kind of cool, actually. They're not going to force it. We draw Thoughtseize. Nice. So I guess if we lead on Thoughtseize, they can force it. But I think that's still fine, because if we lead on Sculler, they just let it resolve. Well, if we lead on Sculler and they let it resolve, then we just take the path and we're pretty well protected. Alright, let's lead on the Sculler, see what you got. See what your one unknown is. I think we know about this Hallowed Fountain. Force of Negation, Path to Exile. So, just going to take the path, play a land, and say go. Or we could just get the force out of their hand right now, actually. Maybe that's better. Yeah, I'll just Thoughtseize away the force. Clear the way for Liliana next turn. Again, first time playing against Soulherder, so I don't know if there's something else I should be on the lookout for, but we shall see. I guess we're attacking first. Don't know if this deck plays like a Restoration Angel or anything along those lines to flash in. So if they don't, it's actually kind of better to lead on... Well, regardless, it might be better to just play another Sculler here and hold up push. That way our Liliana becomes asymmetrical. And if they drew another force, this is better against that. Okay, nothing. Fair enough, so we would have got the Liliana down, but she would basically have been asymmetrical in their favor. Looks like the opponent might just be flooding out anyway, though. So this turn we're definitely jamming Lily. And we're going to push because they are already very flush with lands, and Path is more of a universal answer to whatever they might find. Alright, so they were indeed flooded. They drew that Flooded Strand. And we know about the forest, they just played it. One unknown in hand. Okay. We're going to tick up. Okay, they'll concede. Fair. Alright, kind of a free win there. The opponent flooded. The opponent had a good start. Like, they had a good start. That draw of Coiling Oracle getting them the land, presenting a body on board, that was very good. But then, of course, our hand disruption just took over. They flooded. That's that. So, alright, what do we do against a deck like this? So, I don't think Ashiaka's doing enough here. No Fulminator, no Nile Spellbomb as far as I know. Sorin is a consideration. I think they play too many creatures for Kambal to be good. To that end, I think we want all of our anti-creature tech. So these 5 cards are kind of what I'm considering, maybe not even Sorin, but probably Sorin. We'll just see. They look like they're ready to grind for days. Let's come prepared to do the same. So, what don't we like? That's the only problem, is I don't know what we're supposed to cut against a deck like this. I'm going to look up a list real quick. just to get a better idea of what they might be likely to have, especially post side. Obviously, this is no substitute for actual experience, but just so I'm not going in totally blind. Alright, so we're seeing a lot of X1s, a lot of the stuff that blinks for value, like Coatl, Eternal Witness, Coiling Oracle. Watcher for Tomorrow is in there. Some other bounce stuff. Yeah, I mean, it feels like we don't want to make many changes because a lot of their stuff is a natural 2-for-1, so we want to leave in some number of discard, but at the same time we want to take some of it away because we are getting into top deck mode almost certainly. So we'll hedge. 1 Inquisition, 1 Thoughtseize. I think Plague Men are the most important thing to bring in here. Then what? Then what? Then what? Again, our whole deck seems pretty good here. I'm just going to cut a Sculler because it's a little clunky in multiples. That might be totally incorrect. We'll bring in a Brutality. Make super minimal changes. I mean, Kalitas has got to be in, right? Just play Kalitas over a Souls. I know that Souls is good here, but we'll just diversify a little bit, get some stuff that's more, not single-handedly impactful. That's not true with Kalitas versus Souls, but has a higher ceiling maybe. Clearly not the most scientific sideboarding you'll ever see, but this hand is very good. It's just a 1-lander. But we're on the draw. If there is ever a time in this league that we should have a risky keep, it would be right now. So what do we think? What do we think about this super risky keep? I think I'm going to go for it just because they seem so value-oriented. And I really kind of need to get lucky for this to be any good. But, alright, so far not very good. But we'll see if it pans out. Soon. Very soon. Coiling Oracle reveals Watcher for Tomorrow, and we hit our second land. We hit the second land, we did it. Risky keep rewarded. But how do we best utilize it? So this is not a great Brutality target. Kind of want to just go Bob here. I think we're just going Bob. That makes our Brutality next turn even better, even if we don't hit a third land. But obviously we are on the back foot. But we do hit the third land. We've got a potential for a really good turn with like Thoughtseize into an escalated Brutality. Teferi. That's tough. That's annoying. Can't wait for Questing Beast on the rock to kill Teferi. But surprisingly, Teferi doesn't bounce Bob. Teferi will take up. This gives us a pretty good window to do some decent stuff. And the third land is colorless. That's a problem. So do we just name Snake and attack Teferi? Play the Plague Man naming Snake attacking Teferi? That's the mana-efficient thing to do. Snake Elf Druid? I think we still name Snake because we expect Icefang Coatl. But it's worth wondering about that. Let's do it, though. Let's name Snake. I like the play. And I'm very fine pressuring the Teferi instead of their life total. This is a value-oriented matchup. Now they have to cash in the Teferi if they want to bounce and draw, which You know, maybe they have another Teferi, maybe that's a fine play, but it's still the right attack for us. So we didn't get the second colorless land, or the second colored land, but we've hit our land drops, it's fine, we've had good turns so far. Definitely getting rewarded so far for the risky keep. And if we continue curving out, we should be able to keep pace despite their very value-oriented setup. Okay, they pass through to their second main, but then they'll just take up with Teferi, sure. So there's no Death Touch yet for Coatls, even if they have a way to remove Plague Man, then flash one in. Okay, we just don't draw land. That is unfortunate, but let's begin with attacking. Send them both at Teferi, see what happens. Maybe they've got Path to Exile, that would be mostly fine. Spell Queller. Yeah, you got it. We'll be able to finish that off with a Brutality. If it blocks Bob. But definitely a good play. Oh, it's just going to trade with the Plague Man. Interesting. So I think the play here might be to just fix our own mana with a Field of Ruin, hitting their white source, and then Thoughtseize. We're going to have to discard two... No, we won't. Either way, yeah, I think we've just got to get our mana online. Yes, this could give them something to do this turn, but we just can't keep operating with only one colored source here. So this is what would do. And they probably have a Coatl in hand because they traded with the Plague Man rather than just taking the free kill on Bob. So maybe we can get that out of their hand here. If there's nothing else we have to take, that is. Okay, they have another snake, but it's not the Coatl, it's another Coiling Oracle. They have two Knights of Autumn. This is just kind of value right now, doesn't do all that much. They have another Teferi, though, that's very annoying. But right now, it doesn't make sense for them to play the other Teferi, so we should be taking either the Oracle or the Watcher, probably. These are the true 2-for-1s. Knight of Autumn is just a big body, but even that's kind of annoying, actually. Right? But they'd have to spend their whole turn on the Knight. I think we're just going to take Coiling Oracle. Interesting call, though. Interesting game so far. And remember, we're drawing 2 per turn. Our life total is getting a little low, but we're starting to really pull ahead on resources, and they do go Watcher. So when this leaves, they get the card back, or they get the 2-for-1. All right, and they found a land. So we know what their hand is. All right, we draw Inquisition and a land. It's pretty good. Lots to decide on here. I think we're definitely casting Inquisition. Probably just Inquisition, take the Teferi, plan to fight through the Knights. And if we're going to do that, then we get to play Courtyard and Brutality, but that seems unnecessary now. We could just go Stoneforge Mystic, seems pretty good. Alright, Inquisition you. Take your other Teferi. Yeah, I mean, this is another 2-for-1 that we don't technically need at the moment, but I think this is a good way to start taking over the board. and it'll make it awkward for them to decide what to do with their Knights of Autumn. Let's get Fire and Ice here. Okay. So, if they have drawn a brick, then they're probably just priced into playing just a big knight, at which point we could have a really good turn. If they've drawn something better than Knight of Autumn, then that's pretty good for them, because then they get to hold up the knights to mess up our equipment plan, potentially. And they also get to do whatever else they found, right? But Eternal Witness. Oh, that's a good draw. That is a good draw. That's just another 2-for-1 that is better than playing a Knight of Autumn right now. And there's nothing they're going to buy back that our Collective Brutality will line up against, so we're kind of waiting for a perfect window for Brutality. I doubt we're going to have it. They buy back Queller. Okay, that's annoying. But, yeah, it kind of works at odds with their Knight of Autumn plan. We're getting painful hits here off of Souls. Okay, or off of Bob. And they didn't bother ticking Teferi up. So we can just push Brutality, play a land, kill Teferi, hold up Stoneforge. I guess that's pretty good, and I guess it's pretty free to escalate even though we might whiff. We could hit off of whatever Watcher for tomorrow has got in hand, so I guess we should Brutality first before we push, just in case they have, like, Spell Snare in the deck, right? Oh, no. No, we've got to get the Watcher trigger first, if we're going to escalate all 3 ways, which I think we might as well with Lingering Souls around. So yeah, we'll push the Watcher. Let's see if we can catch him with something in hand. Probably not, but you never know. Just makes our subsequent turns more mana efficient by getting the souls in the graveyard. Wow, they drew Ephemerate. Are you kidding me? That is so horrifyingly bad, I can't even tell you. Oh no, Max punished. Seriously, Max punished for that decision. What? They draw Ephemerate. Literally insane. Literally insane. And now we cannot readily pressure the Teferi. And they're just going to buy back another one. So I guess at this point we're just going to pass. Oh my god. That could not have gone worse. I don't think it was wrong, it just could not have gone worse. Yep, I sure do whiff. Alright, so option here is to play Sculler, but that's bad against Knight of Autumn, so we're just going to pass. Getting ready to flash in a sword, I guess. Unreal. Well, I mean, we've still got the resource advantage. We've still drawn 2 cards per turn. All that good stuff. I mean, how bad could it get? We're just going to let it happen, because we don't want a path here Path would get quellered anyway. You know, talk about running into a deck that's only good against fair decks. Yeah, I kind of get that feeling with this deck, but what do I know? So we're running a gauntlet of tough matchups here on the debut, my friends. I think that's pretty clear. All right, so just gonna go for Fire and Ice here. Maybe take over a little bit later with Light and Shadow after we fight through the Knights of Autumn. Inquisition. Alright, I mean, let's just begin with that, right? Sure. Then we'll path the Queller, Inquisition again. Ephemerate again. What is my life right now? What is going on right now? And we can't cast that due to Teferi. My goodness. They, yeah, if they just keep drawing Ephemerates, sure. Like, blowing out the fair deck. I see it. I see it. Alright, so if we just, guess we'll just suit up the Bob, see what they do. Double block is live. But at this point, I don't know how much longer we can afford to keep the Bob around. And, okay, no double block. Do we hit the Witness or do we hit Teferi? I'm gonna hit the Witness. I don't know what's correct. We drew a path. Sure. Could very well just be a Knight of Autumn to kill a sword. In which case we get to go on the Sword of Light and Shadow plan and then maybe take the other knight away with Sculler. So this is all kind of sort of going according to plan. I mean, not really, but all those Ephemerates have ruined our day pretty badly. But, you know, we're still in it. We flip another 3-drop. The pain is so real. The pain is so real. Alright. Well, we've got to suit it up. At least we're gaining some life. And who knows, maybe the opponent just can't really answer this if we take away the other knight. So we're going to gain our 3 life back, we're going to buy back the Plague Man. That's all decent. But I do think we kind of have to Sculler right now. And hope they don't have any way to remove said Sculler. Alright, Deputy of Detention and Knight of Autumn. That sucks. Alright, so we're going to take a Knight because we can get rid of the Deputy later. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're getting low on the clock. I think I'm just going to take Knight. And then we're going to flash back a Souls. Maybe we should have taken the Deputy because we could buy back the Sculler after the Knight destroys it, actually. But maybe the Knight just destroys the sword no matter what. And maybe the Deputy just takes the sword no matter what. They've also got some, they could bounce with one Teferi and play the other, but they probably, on this turn, are priced into the Deputy, I imagine. But I am just wondering if we're going to be able to cheese them out with, like, a Plague Man plus some attacks. It could work. We've got Path in hand, too. I mean, we could just, like, win with weenie beats at this stage of the game. Man, I'm tired, though. I'm tired after this league. This was a taxing debut, my friends. No matter how this one ends. Deputy it is, sure. Targeting the sword, okay. All expected so far. All as expected. If the opponent tries to get a cheeky attack in with the Queller, who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 power on the field plus Shambling Vent, but we cannot attack with the Vent while also playing Path and Plague Man. So just 7 power, basically. They are getting the cheeky attack. Oh, they're attacking with both? Alright. So if we trade off with a Knight with a Spirit, then if they have another Ephemerate, then we're just dead. If they have Path Exile, we might just be in trouble, but let's say they have nothing here. And we trade off with a Knight, then we untap, we Path the Deputy. We just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have exactly lethal. So I think we have to at least give ourselves that option. We'll see what they have, and we'll see what we draw. But I think we should give ourselves that option. We also don't want to die to our own Bob Trigger, which if we take 4, we really could. Alright. Bob is painless. I mean, none of our cards are that good right now in hand. Plague Man would have been good if we didn't take that trade, but let's just start with a Path. See if we get him. Alright. So now what could they have to beat us? They could have a Path of their own. So if we equip, let's say Bob, and they path him in response, then we... Okay, never mind. I was just doing the math to play best around path. Doesn't matter. Got there against Soulherder. I guess we just had them. I guess they just didn't have yet another ephemerate or path or whatever it was going to be. So, that was an intense one, guys. That was a cool debut, though. We scraped out the cash. And you know what? We got unlucky in some of our losses. And even in some of our wins, the opponent was like just punishing us at every turn there in that Game 2 against Soulherder. Admittedly, we also dropped Game 1, Round 4, that is on me. If I had fetched like I intended to instead of just reflexively pressing 1 to allow their ballista to resolve, instead of, if I had just fetched like I'd intended to, maybe we would have got there. We still might not have won Game 1. We still lost Game 2. We still maybe lose the series, right? But hey, that was the misplay. It's a very minor misplay in the grand scheme of things. I know that some of the players that I play with wouldn't even think to do that, so, we don't want to be too hard on ourselves. A little tough while live commentating with a new deck, as always. We can't play optimally, but look, still no excuses. I should have fetched in response, and then who knows, maybe we'd be staring at the 4-1 debut. But hey, considering the tough matchups, considering how the opponents seem to curve out really savagely on us a lot of the time here, and considering my newness to the deck, and considering how I don't really, nobody seems to have really quite solved this archetype yet, I will be very happy with the 3-2. So as always, my friends, let me know what you think. I'm very happy that we did come up with a 3-2. I hope I didn't complain too much at various stages of the league. I try not to, but every now and then, I also try to be honest, and if I'm feeling a little bit annoyed, then I feel a little bit annoyed, and that's how it is. But we always do have fun on here. Ultimately, we are here to spread the good cheer and the good word of Modern in its fairer incarnation, even though it brings out some of the decks that only are good against other grindy decks. That's still cool. It's still the wide world of Modern, and we love it. So, thank you once again to Michael Streed, who is the new Inquisitor on board. And thank you, as always, to all Patreon supporters. I could not do it without you. It does mean a lot to me. And, hope you enjoyed this one. We'll continue, of course, working on the list, trying to refine it. And I'm very excited about it. I am also very excited about Green Black Rock, which is the home base of this channel. Questing Beast coming, and Castle Loch Thwain, which could actually probably fit here just as well as it could in Rock. So we've got some new toys ahead, exciting times ahead, and I will see you for more discussion on spoilers, more gameplay to come, and more theory crafting videos as always. We might be playing an Elves Donation League soon. I've been saying that for a while, but this time it might actually happen, and stay tuned for that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Hope everybody out there has a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon.